Hi, can you please tell me about yourself?
Yes, my name is Christoph Stone. I'm interviewing for the position of campaign manager. I've done a lot of community service throughout the years. Being able to serve the community and uplift people's lives is definitely something that really interests me. Ever since being a small child, it's almost like I was born and raised to be able to give back. So this opportunity is something that I'm very excited to be able to move forward with.
Hi. And why do you want to work here?
Well, as I said before, this is my dream to be able to give back to the community. I remember there was a time when there was someone that was sort of like a aunt uh, to me. She lost some family members and really didn't have anyone in her life. And my family and I, we were able to spend time with her, go over there to provide meals for her, and most importantly, just to be able to provide company. And that was really fulfilling. And that was when I was very young. So just carrying on that idea and those feelings that I felt at that moment of being able to give to someone else, being able to do that in a larger context is definitely something that I want to be able to do. And I think that this is something that we can do together within this campaign.
And what do you consider your best accomplishment in a nutshell?
I would say that my best accomplishment would be in team building, where there was a situation where I had a staff of 6 to 7 people, kind of fluctuated, very small, and we were doing pretty well at a certain point where our department was able to expand at the same time that the larger company was expanding also. So we had the opportunity to purchase a new building, and in doing so, that allowed my department to have a larger physical space too. So my staff went from 7 people to 60 people in a matter of a couple of weeks, which was a very big transition. We had the original folks that definitely felt like the veterans of the team, and I was able to lean on them in that respect, where uh, all of a sudden I couldn't give them individually as much attention as I was beforehand, but I could actually get them to be able to extend attention to others. So delegation was involved. And throughout that expansion we were able to elevate a lot of other individuals into larger roles, so I think it really worked out well for everyone involved.
And how do others describe you?
I would say that consistency and evenness is generally how I'm described, either as a coworker or in a management position, where folks generally don't see me going too high or too low, but very consistent. Particularly in that management role, I find that that's very important because sometimes things aren't going well. Sometimes, there's a lot of chaos happening. But then when the individuals around me see that I'm still at the same level, that I'm not getting a little too high, I'm not getting too low, that I'm maintaining or staying on course, that can help them focus too to just, maybe some things are happening, maybe it's stressful, maybe, it's just a bad day. But they can look to me and see that I'm still right here, so that's where I need you to be also. Don't worry about going here or there. So I would say that that's generally how folks have told me they see me, that I'm very even killed.
Could you describe a time when your idea or suggestion secured the company in some way?
Yeah, there's a couple. Let me just pick one, I suppose. I guess I would go with a moment when we needed to figure out how to consolidate everyone's payroll. There was a lot of transition in the company at a particular time, and payroll was basically just a mess. and our HR person was consistently complaining about it, and rightfully so. Some individuals were getting their paychecks mixed with other employees, so you'd have a situation where someone would get paid someone else's check, then they had to be contacted that your direct deposit is about to be reversed. It was a terrible situation all the way around. And it wasn't just the notion that obviously this needed to be fixed because that, again, is obvious. It was also a consolidation of certain departments that really didn't need to be separated. They started off that way, of course, because we were combining, different companies together. But I suggested certain organizational pattern where we could have certain individuals from certain groups come in together to create a new department, and that would, absorb uh, various folks. Where now that's where they are. This is what they're getting paid. This is how they're going to be paid. They're done. These people, let's do it with them, and so on and so forth. So it was really just like a overhaul of how our teams were organized, and also actually going forward and executing it.
What are your weaknesses and strengths?
I'll start off with weaknesses. I definitely am a person that will, from time to time, bite off more than I can chew. And I know that this is something that I definitely will just continue to work on, not just only in the professional sense, but just as a human being in my own personal growth too. Where sometimes I don't want to stifle my own ambition and what I would like to accomplish and what the teams around me can potentially accomplish. There are times too where my outlook needs to be brought to a more realistic place, and that's definitely something that I just continue to try to work on. Now, this happens to coincide with one of my greatest strengths, which is that I am very ambitious and I am very hungry. So there isn't a situation where I have to be concerned about where is motivation going to come from. Am I a self motivated person? Do I need someone else to look over my shoulder? No, none of that. I'm going to bring the energy required to accomplish things.
How would you deal with an angry or irate customer?
That's twofold, I suppose, because it depends on the context of what my role is. If I am someone that's on the floor, someone that has minimal responsibility, as it were, my goal is to try to get this situation contained as much as possible. Number one, never match their energy. You have someone that's yelling and screaming, that doesn't mean that you start yelling and screaming. You maintain your own energy and don't try to make it seem like you can bring them down. These are all human beings that we're dealing with. You have no idea what's going on in their life. So, some folks may think this is my opportunity to sort of like psychoanalyze the situation or try to connect. It's really not. Your role is to just make sure that you maintain where you need to be. And if there is anything that you can actually do to alleviate the situation, you dot all your I's and you cross your T's. This is the same if I'm in a management position with the added part where my other priority is protecting my staff. So whatever it is that they need, whatever support it is that they need to get that in that moment. I understand the customer is upset, but that customer is going to leave. I still need my employee to be productive.
What do you think of your previous boss?
I think that there's something very valuable that I've learned where they would always end the sentence with, does that make sense? Which is to say that there's always a moment for me to be able to poke a little bit more if I disagreed, if I agreed but didn't fully follow. They always gave me the opportunity to be able to ask a little bit more.
Why do you want to leave your current job?
This is my dream job that I'm applying for, so that's just pretty simple.
Okay. And do you have any questions
Um, no, not really. I know that we talked before, and I've gone over information on the website. Really, all I would want to do moving forward is just know how soon I can start.